Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and update Elrond and let you guys know that Elrond's looking pretty good. Contrary to popular belief, probably going, what's going on with Elrond? I investigated myself too. You know, when you have things go on in the market, like people get really scared and markets could be going down, which is a possibility. You cannot rule that out. But with Elrond is, in my opinion, is forming a bottom right there at that black line area is what Elrond is doing. So what are the things that you can do to verify everything? And I let people know. By the way, my name's Greg. I'm going to go over the cryptocurrency market for all those that are new subscribers to my channel. I do appreciate you. I'm taking a different little look on the markets. I'm going off the data, and I'm not going off market sentiment right now because I think what Elrond is in, give you an overall big picture, is Elrond is in a fourth wave over here, fourth wave correction. They go up to do a fifth wave move up that way, potentially. And you see from here, top of the wave one, this is the bottom of wave two. This is a third wave extension. Had a little bit of a blow off over there, came back, corrected it almost to the midway, and then went up and touched the top of that trend up there. So when I actually made that, just to let you know, I didn't connect the parallel channel up here. What I did is I went from the bottom of wave two, run that channel up, and I put where I think the fourth wave ended. And then I come over to the top without that wick and make the channel. And that's where the channel decided to touch these top of the waves. And you see the middle of the channel there, and it finally came down. So we're going to go over a couple things. This right here, I think, in my opinion, for doing a long-term play is one of the safer assets in the cryptocurrency market. Is there, if there's such a thing as safer? One of the reasons why I say that is I'm going to go over here, show you something over here in CoinGecko is this right here, okay? Limited supply. So it's going to be safer from mega falls, if you will, if that's such a thing in the crypto market too, and potentially probably a faster swing to the upside, in my opinion. So that could happen with Elrond. They're going through the, you can see that right now there's like absolutely no interest in Elrond right now. You see the volume down here? Just nothing, just gone away, down to nothing. And usually these are the areas where you want to, if you have a longer term outlook on a coin like this or a cryptocurrency, this would be an accumulation area. This is where you probably, if I was looking at something like this, well, I'll just say it. I'd be looking to pick some of that up at 49. I just picked up a little bit, and I'm going to slowly check out, see what Elrond is going to be doing. So that's my take on it. You can see the waves in its RSI peaks here. So this wave right here is the highest peak. And the reason that wave is the highest peak is because this itself is the third wave. So this was the beginning of the third wave. Went up on this wave, back down, second wave, and this whole thing is a third wave, extended third wave. So 5 waves within the third wave. And for those that, here's your signal, your bearish divergence from that peak to that peak. So Elrond is going to make a move up potentially, and it's going to have something like that. Okay. So you see that. I'm going to put that. You see the divergence. You have the higher in the price, lower in the RSI, and look what Elrond did. Boom. That's your signal to exit on Elrond. You'll have one over here too. And this RSI is a momentum indicator. And the reason this fourth wave is way down here, okay, it's way down here to make that fifth wave is so it has room. I'll show you. So it has room down here in this RSI to make a peak that's not going to break either one of those third waves. It might not even break that one. It's just going to depend on how bullish it is. So what you will have with Elrond is your bearish divergence once again at this area, like just like so. It'll probably be something like that. Just like this, guys. It'll be something like that, okay? Telling you again, even at a higher, more different level, if you will, to exit out. I'll be doing another correction, okay? So I just want to let you guys know that that's what I would be looking for on an exit on Elrond, because it's going to go up. If it goes up, guys, it's going to correct, and it's going to be correcting this whole sequence right here. This whole thing will be the wave one. It'll finish its channel, And from here will be wave 1, wherever that decides to end. And then it will correct, probably right back down to these areas. This is a 4th wave. They like to correct all the way back down to 4th waves. That's where they like to go hide for a little while. Boom, just right in that area, potentially. Okay. So a pretty significant drop once again for Elrond after it makes that move. Potentially makes that move. No guarantees. Remember, there's no guarantees. So I'm getting a little bit of it. I like the coin. I like coins with limited supply. Like I said, guys, these, in my opinion, are your higher quality, if you will, per se. That really is a big benefit for me. Limited supply, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has limited supply, right? So what you can do with the wave like this is that this wave probably goes with this wave. So here's a 3rd wave. So what you can do to see if it's done with its correction is you could take the time. One of the big things that a lot of people don't take into consideration when they're looking at charts is they don't take time into consideration, especially among waves. So what I can do is I'm going to take the time for this wave. So it made a wave down here. How long did that wave take? About 238 days. 238 days to make that correction. It went into its 3rd wave. So I want to see some time in that range. It's not going to be exact. It's never exact. So about 182, 190 days, more or less. Let me run that one more time just to double check that. So about 200 days, almost 200 days. So 240 days there and 200 days there. So more than likely that wave is going to be going with that wave. Okay. And then if you go into these waves, so wherever this wave ended, this wave was probably about the same time, more or less close. So that's why those waves would go together. So that wave would go that way. So this wave goes with that wave. Telling you more than likely that this is a parallel channel that Elrond is in, and then it's going to be going up based on the RSI data down here. You can see that it dropped there and went over there. Okay. And then sometimes too, you can see patterns. You see the wave is a little bit different than this wave. This is more like a probably a WXY, and this maybe is more like a zigzag, or could maybe be a type of a WXY. But one thing you can do too to find these patterns to see if potentially a correction is over with. I'm not going to count that wick. It's just to see what did it do down here on its wave pattern. Let me go to a daily chart. I'll show you guys what I do sometimes just to see if Elrond's correction is over with. And you can see just based on this data that it has right here, more or less, it looks like it did more or less about a 1-to-1 swing. So yeah, some type of correction up there. And then I'll go up top, compare this one to see if it's similar. And if it is, kind of gives me clues that maybe the correction is over with. And you can see what did it do? Depends on where it's at. Where did it go to? More or less in that 1-to-1 area that it's hanging out at, depending on where you want to put this. Keep the wick in, keep the wick out. But you can see the candle body is more or less in that 1-to-1 area, right on top of that wave, right on top of that wave. So it looks pretty good. Okay. And they have that swing with Elrond. And more than likely correction's over with. Now I'm also going to go here to the daily chart and let you guys know something, is that you see how high this came up onto its peak over here. So if you're expecting like some sort of massive dump with Elrond, it would have done it right here, guys, in my opinion. If you're thinking that this is the correction, it's not done here and it's getting ready to dump, if there's massive dump, in my opinion, that would have already started right here. Just how high this came high enough into the RSI, as you can see, a similar situation where it came up right here. It started doing its dump. You can see it came up almost as high. If it was going to be doing a dump, it would have started off. You can see it's slowing down in the RSI. I have an idea what I think is going on here with Elrond. And clearly on this area over here, there was an impulse move. This over here was an impulse move that Elrond did. So then what's the rest of it? The rest of it, in my opinion, is all one big gigantic correction where it did a 3-wave and then it went up in a 3-wave and it's doing a flat to take its time all the way over here to do a move, probably something like this. Your 3-wave move over there, your 3-wave move over here, and it's doing your 5 over here, probably to land somewhere in that area, in my opinion, have a flat kind of like that. So that's what it's doing. Is it possible to have a wave one, say like this, a wave one that only took say 7, 8, maybe 10 days, and then you have a wave two that's going to take this long? You can have a wave two that takes 10 times as long as the wave one. Usually that's an indication that they're doing a wave one and building a base on this wave two to maybe make another wave one over here. And that wave one might go quick, and then it might build another base, and then it's getting ready to get out of there. There's a couple of examples that you can see that on that I showed recently was a coin called Veracity, where Veracity, just give you an example, Veracity went up on a wave one. They didn't take very long, and it went through, I think, a 6-month wave two to build its base. And then that whole sequence was starting over there. Then it made another wave, came back down in a correction, and then it was able to go into its third wave over there. Okay. So that's what Veracity did. So is it possible it could do something like that? Definitely possible. And I think this is what Elrond is doing, in my opinion. I have the wave sequence on here, and what it did is came down. You can see in the RSI on this daily, the lowest peak, it's either there or there, depending on how you want to look at that. I'll go out to a 12-hour, maybe get more of an idea. Its lowest peak right here was in that wave sequence. I think it came up, and what it's doing is a diagonal down. You can see it came down aggressively there, and then this whole area is just slowing up. It's still going down, but in the RSI, it's slowing up in momentum, probably complete this sequence, which is going to be some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a ending diagonal in this wave 5 that it's doing. And then this here is your 3, your 3 up, and your 5. And this here in this area is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back down over 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is your B wave that it did, and came back 3 right there, your 3, and then slowing up into a 5 to make the flat. More than likely going to stop right in that area, in my opinion. So, and then this will be your wave 1 and then a 2 is what Elrond is doing. And then could it do something over here again? It could do something over here, go up onto a 1 and take its time with a 2 once again, depending on the markets. So this kind of makes sense to me with Elrond, what's going on in a situation like this, just because the markets they're not bullish right now. They're indecisive. There's a bunch of uncertainty, and it did its wave, and now it's just going through its correction process to start building its base, in my opinion. So for this correction, what I'd be looking at is a line in the sand right there, about $46. And then, the next one would be 42, and then some down 37. I don't think it's going to be going lower than that. Also, too, I wanted to show you guys something. Come out here to the weekly chart. And one of the things you can do to verify that this is a fourth wave is you can take the length of the third wave and get a retrace on logarithmic. And the spots that they like to really hang out is at 0.382. And you can see in this situation that hit 0.382 basically on the nose, getting on top of there, on top of that wave. And more likely, Elrond's going to hang out in this area. There's some other coins that are like that too. I think Cardano is one, had an extended third wave, and Elrond right here is basically in the same position as Cardano. Can't remember the name of the other coin, but it's basically the same thing, just hanging out in this area, maybe make another wave, and then it can finally make a push up whenever the crypto markets decide to get a little bit of bullishness behind them. But otherwise, in my opinion, it looks pretty good. Verifying just between this wave and this wave, this being an extended third wave, checking the Fibonacci's between, for the third wave, and Fibonacci's between this wave and this wave and that wave and that wave. Now, the other reason too is that you want to be careful of, some people are going to possibly say that it's coming down in a wave 1, correct back up and go back down into a wave, a third wave, and just start correcting down in those areas. That is possible. So if you're doing an entry, like not financial advice, but if you're doing an entry, say at 46, then your line in the sand's right there at 37. That once it breaks that low, then you'll have your answer. So I don't think that it is. It's just too slow in momentum in this area. But you can never rule out a possibility of a wave 1 to swing back up and do it too, because everybody's bearish right now. I know all the counts on Bitcoin right now which I don't agree with, is that it's made a wave 1, it's coming up to do a wave 2, and it's going to be going deep down to 14,000 on a wave 3. Don't agree with that quite yet. I don't think the signals are there for Bitcoin to do that. I don't think the signals are there for Elrond to do that quite yet, guys. So you made it all the way to the end of my video. I do appreciate that with Elrond. I think more than anything, it's going to be more of a patient waiting game, just before you have more certainty in the markets. And, you know, that wave 2 that it did in this area took it, I think, about 60 or 80 days. It could do another one, and then you could have another 30 or 45 days on a wave 2, and then bam, it'll finally get out of there. But otherwise, nobody's interested in Elrond right now because it's not doing anything. It's not really going up. It's not really going down. In my opinion, that's the time you want to start looking at least a smart money would be looking at an asset like that. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.